what's that? Didn't we just have a ban announcement and it's been less than a month into the rotation and we already need another emergency ban? Did they not do enough during the last banning or did they do too much? Are we having another Amalia, One Ring, Nadu, Corey Steelcutter, Underworld Breach situation?
To ban or not to ban? Is it time for Vivi to kick the can? I'm Hermes. That's Figured Base. Now, let's jump straight into the tea.
So, Vivi Cauldron / Is it Cauldron, whatever you want to call it, has taken over the meta. So that we're all on the same page here, the deck we're referring to is primarily a profs list that takes the same deck building principles as a Jeskai Oculus deck that was popular in the last set of RCs, but cuts the white cards and the eyeballs for playsets of Agatha Soul Cauldron and Vivi Ornithir. These two cards allow the deck to produce massive amounts of mana and draw through the deck with cards like Winter Night Stories and Tersa in order to close games with either VV-pings or just big combat steps with fear of missing out, or a mix of both.
Yeah, and we want to at least give y'all a few stats to kind of get everyone up to speed with just how oppressive this deck has become. Basically, we've taken, as of recording today, we've taken the past 7 days and counted up what we have from the MTGO winners metagame, as well as some recent snapshots from both the Arena Champs and a Untapped GG, which is a tracker for Arena. For the MTGO winners metagame, over 130 copies in top 32s in the past week, which is insane. It's about 31% of the meta, according to Goldfish. Recent snapshot of Untapped GG also shows that it is the most popular deck in best of 3, Mythic, and Diamond. It's also got a 60% win rate, just under, which is crazy for the most popular deck. And not only is it the most popular deck, it's also double the next most popular deck. It's like 21%. The next is just under 10. I believe it's Dimir mid-range. It might be Esper Pixie. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Everyone's just playing VVs. Lastly, this is really the thing that got everyone started on this conversation. The Arena Championship had over 54% of the meta day one was Vivi Cauldron. 37 people came to the event. More than half of them thought this was the best deck and was okay going into the mirror.
Yep.
Not only that, 7 of the top 8 were also Vivi Cauldron, and then the lone teamer ferocious deck that made top 8 got knocked out right away, and so we had a top 4 that was all Vivi Cauldron. It's kind of ridiculous when you put it like that, right, guys?
Yeah, it's not great. So, is it Vivi or Cauldron that should be banned? What's your take, Hermes?
Yeah, this is a kind of a back and forth take a lot of folks have. I'm personally on the side of banning Vivi because Cauldron's been in the meta for a while. It's been doing very interesting things that are somewhat unfair, but not oppressively unfair. Think Roots and all these other really interesting decks that are using the exile and the counters to do some really fun things. However, Vivi also is just Vivi is not the reason why the deck makes all the mana. The deck makes the mana because Cauldron exists, and Cauldron, as we've seen in more Eternal formats, is pretty busted, especially when you look at I think the primary example is Yawgmoth in Modern. Like, why the heck can you make all your dudes with 1/1 counters Planeswalkers? Stuff like that. So I lean ban Vivi, but I can definitely see banning Cauldron. One of them has to go. Just period.
So, in my opinion, I think it needs to be Cauldron that needs to be banned. Now, I know I'm a little biased. I do love Vivi. They are one of my favorite cards that's ever been printed. And it's probably because I'm a Storm player. But, like you pointed out, Cauldron is the one that is enabling those toxic turns where you tap it, exile Vivi, and then everything becomes a Vivi. And
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, I think Vivi is a fairly cool card. I think it's a very interesting way they made it. They're very easily removed. It is a legendary creature. You can only ever play one. And also, it's not an outlaw. It can die to Doomblade. And there are ways of stopping it, like an unable to scream or any type or the witness card where it turns
Witness
into
protection.
yeah, witness protection turns her into a very very respectable business person.
Yes, Vivi or Natir, they're the legitimate business
Yeah,
person.
legitimate business person. And I also don't think WotC is going to ban a card from Final Fantasy. It's too soon,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I think Cauldron is going to be the one that gets hit with the ban. But if that happens, we'll at least still be able to play Vivi in the Is It Prowess deck. But that's for another video.
Yeah.
So next thing, is there counterplay for this deck? What do you think, Hermes? What's your opinion?
So in terms of the counterplay, you have to go really heavy-handed on it. Just a general Ghost Vacuum, which is the tried and true current sideboard staple for most folks for graveyard hate. I mean, you just end up in a game of chicken with the Agatha Soul Cauldron. Then there's no winning. Once they put 2 in the graveyard, you can't bite, because then they bite, and then it's a mess. So because of that, you have to play Rest in Peace, which means you have to be in white, yeah, all that stuff. We've also seen blue-white control as the best deck at answering it. And, that's what control likes to do. Bread and butter of control is find the best deck, figure out how to beat it, and it's got the tools to do so. It's got all the ways to kill creatures and artifacts in white, and then the card advantage and finishers in blue. So yeah, if the counterplay is just a bunch of blue-white control, then we're going to be seeing a bunch of Vivi mirrors, blue-white mirrors. I don't know if that's what we want. How about you, B? What do you think?
I am of the same sentiment. I really think the only way to fight this deck is either to go way faster than it, like where we would probably need Heartfire here to come back into the equation, or you play Azorius control, Jeskai control, some type of control deck. And when there's only 2 possibilities, one of which you need to unban a card, it's not looking great. It's looking pretty grim. We all know something from this deck is going to get banned. And where a control and, like I said, some random card needs to get unbanned to put BB in check are the answers for counterplay. It's not looking great. But, I mean, another thing we have to look out for is the Prowess deck also an issue?
Yeah, I want you to get started on this, because this is more up your alley. You're the Storm player.
True. I am the Storm player. Now, I brewed this pretty fun little deck where it's a Prowess, but it's also Storm-based, where self-destruct is like a grape shot, but there is an actual legitimate Is It Prowess deck with the astrological planisphere, Vivi, a bunch of pump spells, which are basically your rituals for Vivi, and you just ping them to death, and you have a slick shot or a planisphere that just goes off and swings. Now, I don't think that deck is necessarily going to be an issue. It is more susceptible to removal. You're not having the toxic plays of 2 combat steps and profs. You don't have as much card draw discard where you're cycling through your deck like a madman. So I think that deck is a little bit more in check. I think it's correct to pick up those cards now before this deck gets banned somehow, somewhere. Something is they have to do something. Like, there's no way they have to do something, because I think Is It Prowess is going to be the next deck that's going to replace this, in my opinion.
Yeah, if Cauldron gets banned, and specifically Cauldron, if Vivi gets banned, both are gone. But if Cauldron gets banned, we can very much see Vivi having a home here. It's already at around 5% of the metagame.
Yeah.
And the deck is very, very solid. Don't get me wrong. It's just very threat light, which means it's very susceptible to just 1-for-1 removal answers, which when you look at what a lot of the decks are running right now, you want to be able to 1-for-1 to have a good back and forth.
Yes.
Cauldron, everything's like a 2, everything's a 2 or 3-for-1. It's kind of ridiculous. So Definitely the Prowess deck's a little more in control. It's also the cute deck that gets to play Stock Up and all the fun other,
Yeah.
like, Stormy cards, which
I'm very
I think
happy
it's
about.
good for us to have standard. It's
Yeah.
as long as it's not oppressive. It
And
seems
it's
like
a fair
it's
deck.
kind of where it is right now.
Yeah, I think that's a deck that maybe
That's the
Magic.
important part.
Yeah, that's a deck that WotC wanted people to play. But, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
sets, there's so many cards in Standard. There's just so many cards in Magic. People are going to cook up some heinous shit.
And we see it is getting absolutely warped around this tier 0 deck. So much so that a lot of Cauldron decks have started to go down on main deck Vivis, 3, even 2, and instead just stealing their opponents to combo off because they're assuming they're going to play the mirror. And you're getting other tech cards like Meringue River Regent and Quantum Riddler and Steam Core Scholar showing up in these lists. They're trying to grind longer, they're trying to have bodies that can block. It's crazy that people are going so deep into trying to win the mirror. B, kind of what's your vibe here? Like, what's your take? What's going on?
I definitely think we have an inbred meta where if you want to have a chance to qualify, you either play Vivi Cauldron or a control deck. And all the cards you listed, like Meringue River Regent, Quantum Riddler, more Steam Core Scholars, they're able to grind a little bit higher, have more evasion. And you don't, I mean, if you know you're going to face a meta where we're at 54% pretty much of the meta, and you're more than likely 50-50 going to go against a mirror match, I could see why you would only run 2 VVs. One, it's more affordable to only run 2 VVs. And 2, you're going to be hedged for the mirror, which you should, and you want to be able to go longer in these games, and you want to steal your opponent's VVs before they can do their thing. And this is also a deck that really benefits from being on the play as well. So I can definitely see a world where I'm just going to hope I win my high rolls each time, and I'm going to run 2 VVs, and we're going to pray that we get that turn 2 Agatha Soul Cauldron.
Kind of speaking of Cauldron, the last ban announcement that we had chopped how many cards out of, like, you know, stuff that rotate. Bloomborough,
so many.
Bloomborough was still going to be here, but, like, we lost so much from Wilds of Eldraine. And this is yet another Wilds of Eldraine card that would have rotated along with Monstrous Rage, along with Up the Beanstalk.
Yep.
Like,
it's...
This is just kind of, do we still think we want to have this full 3-year standard? Or, like, maybe this experiment we want to kind of come back to 2? It's a little more controlled?
Right.
B,
yeah.
you got some got to take here?
Lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 bands. Standard. Abel's Awakening, Core Steel Cutter, Heartfire Hero, Hopeless Nightmare, Leyline of Residence, only in best of 1, but it still counts. I'm still adding it to the list. Fight me. Monstrous Rage, This Town Ain't Big Enough, Up the Beanstalk.
Y'all, if you're counting at home, half of those cards would have rotated. It is bad. Add Cauldron to the list of those cards.
It just looks so bad for Wizards. Like, we need less product, we need a quicker rotation, or we need to chill out of the power creep. Like, Pioneer is just a copy paste of Standard right now. Like,
we know that they're not going to chill on the product because they need to print money. So it's going to be either chill down on the power creep, which means Commander players aren't going to buy it.
But, like, okay, something needs to happen. How are we going to fix this? Do we need to set better ban windows? Curate the format? Like, what is going to fix the optics for the health of the game?
So I kind of like having a more curated approach. Not obviously, like, Wizards has gone off the deep end with over-curating. See the initiation of Pioneer, where they literally banned every month or 2 weeks or something ridiculous, and it was way too volatile. However, only having one ban window a year, like an early rotation, that just, if you miss something, you're just creating a terrible environment, which is exactly what happened.
Oh
And
yeah.
realistically, if it wasn't for them missing Vivi, I could honestly argue Enduring Curiosity or Kaido would be an issue because of just how dominant Demir was before everyone realized how strong Cauldron is.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of creates a situation where it probably would be better for them to curate the format a little more consistently.
And
Mm-hmm.
it just feels like Standard hasn't been in a good spot in a long time, in a really long time. And I really think we need to, like you said, have better ban windows, allow emergency bans, and curate the
Mm-hmm.
format better. But we need to stop printing so much product, Wizards. Like, we have so many cards that are legal and standard right now. And,
Yeah, it's crazy. I think
mm-hmm,
before rotation, the size of Standard was larger than the initial size of Pioneer when it first came out. Something ridiculous like that. It was
yep,
crazy. But yeah,
it's pretty bad.
that's a lot of rambling. I too, Pioneer Stan. Give me my Green Devotion. Give me my Rakdos Demons. But we got to wrap up here because we've
Yes.
rambled on quite a bit. Went into realistically all the problems that this current Tier 0 deck in Standard has to offer, as well as some more philosophical conversations about format health, direction that WotC is taking, etc. You know, it was a good conversation. Want to round us out, B?
Yep, and of course, as always, comment down below with your hot, spicy takes. Make sure to follow us on all the social medias. I'll be Figured Base on all the socials. Hermes the Nerd over on their side of the internet. And make sure you join our Discord, like, subscribe, all that cute bullshit. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.